Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Breakdown. Yes, it's No Shave November. I've let it grow. So, yes, we're in the middle of November right now. And you know what that means? That means that Disney Plus is out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, guys, I'm going to go over what Disney Plus is, if it's worth it, and some of the things that I think they could definitely work on. Obviously, this is something that a lot of people have been anticipating, and, you know, the big corporate giant that Disney is coming to play against Netflix and other studios. So obviously something huge in the industry, the movie industry, something I've been anticipating for a while now. And a lot of people have asked me, hey, is it worth it? Hey, what it's all about? You know, what's it gonna have? So as of right now, I've had Disney Plus for about 6 days. I pre-ordered it. No special treatment here though, but what I am gonna say is I'm just gonna go over how the platform works, what it is, and where I think they can improve. I'm not going to go over any content because I've only had it for 6 days. I know The Mandalorian is out. Haven't really fully checked it out yet. So right now I'm just going to go over the platform and I'm going to show you guys how it looks on mobile and also how it looks like, you know, on any smart TV or Apple TV device. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. Okay, so as you can see, when I go ahead and press on the Disney Plus app, we get this really nice logo and the excitement begins, right? So as we open the app, obviously the first thing you're going to see are going to be what they are featuring. So you have the Lady and the Tramp live action movie. You have The Mandalorian episode 2 now streaming. You're going to have a bunch of different things that they're advertising. Endgame, The Simpsons, Avatar, some of the Fox properties there, Captain Marvel. So that's what's going to be at the top, which is a lot of their originals and just things that are very popular in the moment. Right next below that, you are going to have the 5 major brands that Disney holds for this streaming service. And that's going to be Disney and all their properties, Pixar and all their properties, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic. Now, the interesting thing here is that we don't see anything about Fox properties, and I think that's something that might come a bit later. As we get through this, I'll kind of let you know on some things that I think will change, or at least should change. So the first thing that they have on tap, obviously kind of a Netflix sort of layout that we're seeing so far. The originals, here you have The Mandalorian, Lady and the Tramp, the High School Musical show, and obviously you can swipe left and right to kind of see what it is that they offer. And here you see things like Noelle, which is a film that Anna Kendrick did that they were debating on whether it was going to get released in theaters or not. Ended up being streaming. And then some of the other things here, like Pixar in Real Life, Float. So a lot of their original content there, obviously recommended for you. This is just based off of the few things that I've actually watched, just like your typical Netflix. So as we continue to go down, we see that we have hit movies, trending, Happy Birthday Mickey, Out of the Vault, like the Disney Vault. I know that's something that a lot of people were looking forward to. Obviously, Inspired True Stories, Ultra HD and HDR, another great thing. Unlike Netflix, Disney Plus does not make you pay for HD or HDR. Everything that you are getting for the same price is going to be HD 4K with the highest quality that your device can handle. Disney Channel favorites, another huge thing that a lot of people are very excited about, and I'll get a little bit more into that later. Musical, throwbacks, Beasts and Monsters, nostalgic movies, Disney Junior for the children, feel-good sport movies, documentaries, shorts, and the list goes on and on. Obviously, they have a lot of great things. So that's kind of the initial layout, obviously very Netflix-esque. As we look at the bottom, obviously we see here on the left that we have the home button, then we have the search button, which we'll go into a bit later. Then we have the downloads. Also, another thing that Disney Plus does is that you're able to download anything on Disney Plus. I know with Netflix it's a little different, and you can download as much as your phone can hold or device can hold. So that's very cool. Here, another thing that we do have is the profiles. Now, obviously, this is just my personal family stuff, but you have the great thing of, when you want to edit a profile, you can select, you can change the name. You can obviously also see here that you can change the image. So obviously very exciting. You get all the Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, National Geographic Kids, Mickey Mouse, Disney Classics, Disney Princesses, Villains, and Disney Channel. You get all these to choose from. And let me just tell you, this is something that I think people are going to underestimate as being very cool, because I know that for Netflix, I just felt that they didn't have the options that I really wanted. So I think Disney has a leg up on, just because, there are a lot of things. I mean, come on, Kim Possible, that's amazing. There's a lot of things that Disney Plus has that many people, connect with their childhood. So that's really cool. So I think it's cool that you can personalize that. Obviously, you can do app settings, account, all that stuff. But really, where I really start getting into some of the things here are that, the app seems pretty simplistic right now. I think that's something that's definitely going to change. And before we start getting into some of the content, I did just want to quickly mention some of the things that I feel are missing from the app right now. First and foremost, my biggest gripe with the Disney Plus app right now is the fact that you don't have something that shows you what you recently watched or where to continue. That is something that has become a bit annoying for me, because as I've started to use the app, I've noticed that anytime, I was watching Iron Man 2 because I haven't seen it in a while, every time I want to pick up where I left off, I have to click on Marvel. Then from there, I have to slide over on the Movies tab, and then I will be able to get to Iron Man. I click on it, and then I can press play, and it will pick up where I left off, so obviously that's good. But I have noticed that that's something that I think it sorely needs, that Netflix has really perfected. So I think that's something that's really missing right now, that I hope that they fix in an update, or I hope that that's something that people are talking about that we can get a bit later. That's my biggest gripe on the app so far. The other thing that I will say about the Disney Plus app that kind of bugs me a little bit is that as we get a little bit more into the content, you're going to notice that, let's say I'm looking for Disney Channel favorites, right? Or I'll do you one better. Let's go ahead and let's go into Out of the Vault. So I want to look at some classic Disney animated films from my childhood. You have The Little Mermaid, The Jungle Book, Cinderella, Lion King, Aladdin, so on and so forth. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of great things here. And then we come to the end. And I am saying, wait a minute, there's no way this is everything that's in the vault. There has to be more. So something that kind of bugs me a little bit is that they don't have everything listed out right here immediately. So if I wanted to find something a little bit more specific that might not be in here, let me see. So like Hercules, for example. If I want to watch Hercules, which I know is on Disney Plus because I ended up looking for it. Oh, actually, it's right there. So maybe that's a bad example. But if there are films that aren't on this list, so the way I have to find them is either do a direct search for whatever film it is that I want to find, or now that we're here, we can conveniently look at some of these options here in the search bar, which I think is kind of smart, but it still takes me time to go through all this. So obviously they have Disney Through the Decades, Disney Channel Original Movies, Star Wars, Princesses, Spider-Man, Disney Nature. All these options you're seeing here are great. But in order for me to find some of these, I'd have to go into, they actually don't even have one for Disney movies, or I guess you would go through the decades. And so this is pretty cool, actually. So I like this here. They have movies from the 1920s and 1930s, which is great. 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 70s, 80s, 1990s. Oh my gosh, they have Home Alone. I didn't even realize that until now. Okay, here's one. So Emperor's New Groove. That one wasn't on the other one. And obviously I know that's not one that, is out of the vault, but that's kind of my point where there are so many movies that they offer that they kind of make you search for some of them. And I feel that is something that I think they need to work on, because, I know they have a lot of content, but they really need to make it easier for us to be able to find things. Otherwise, the other way would just be to search. And then I'd be able to type in whatever it is that I want to find, and that's how I would get to it. So my biggest gripes, they're not that huge. I think the biggest one for me is just not being able to play something, pick up where I left off quickly. The other one is just, the first time I went through it, I said, wait a minute, there's stuff missing here. I thought there was going to be all these different things, but then finally able to find them after doing some searching and digging. And I'm still finding that there's still things on here that I forgot or didn't know that were on here. It's just going to take time to go through more of the app. Obviously, I've only had it for 6 days. But yeah, so that's the mobile app. The only thing I did want to mention about the content is I think that even though people are going to sign up for these 4 Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, honestly, to me, the way I have been saying it is I bought it for the Marvel, Disney, and Pixar aspect of it, but I'm really gonna enjoy it and probably use it the most for the Disney Channel favorites. Because, I mean, you have Lizzie McGuire, you have High School Musical, Phineas and Ferb, you have Good Luck Charlie, Hannah Montana, Jessie. I mean, you go from modern to old, Halloween Town, Wizards of Waverly Place, Girl Meets World, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, That's So Raven, even Stevens, and they have more that aren't on here, but you can find them elsewhere. They have so much from the childhood of the people that were raised with Disney, whether it was, in the 90s or in the 2000s or the 2010s. A lot of that content is here, and so it's basically you're giving people their childhood on a streaming service, and I think that's something that is so invaluable. And I've seen so many people tweeting and reacting to it on social media and just enjoying it and getting it for that reason alone. So I think that a lot of people initially got it for the brands, the 5 brands that we see up here. But I think in reality, what's going to keep us coming back and what's going to keep people, enjoying Disney Plus is going to be all the content from our childhood. I mean, I'll even go as far as to say, one of the biggest surprises for me were certain shows like So Weird, I believe it is. Let me see. Yes, so this is a show from 1998 that my sister and I grew up watching, and I was shocked and amazed that it was on here. So that's something we'll be able to show my younger sister. I'm going to be able to show my children at some point. So that's absolutely amazing. There are other things like, Disney Channel classics, like I believe it's Don't Look Under the Bed. This movie as a child frightened me. And, you see other obviously holiday related movies here. But, these are the sorts of things that I think are definitely going to make Disney Plus something that people aren't just going to buy, but are also going to stick with for a while. So those are my thoughts on the mobile app itself. We're now going to quickly go ahead and jump over to the way that Disney Plus looks on a smart TV, more particularly the Apple TV. All right, so here we have my Apple TV. First things first, we're going to go ahead and select the Disney Plus app. Gives us a nice little screen there. And now when we go in, same logo, and then it should ask us once again, who's watching, typical Netflix behavior. And here we're going to see pretty much the same layout that we had on mobile. Obviously, same options up atop, Disney Originals. The biggest difference, and the reason I wanted to showcase this, is because there are more options available here, and I think they're a bit more accessible than they are on mobile. And what options I mean, obviously you can see those here on the left. When you go over to the left side, you are going to see up there obviously the account that you're in. You're able to search, home, watch list, originals, movies, series, and settings. Now, why is this important? I think for me the biggest thing is watch list. This is just like on Netflix when you have my list and you're able to say, hey, these are the things I want to watch. I'm able to access this here on the Apple TV. I'm not sure if you are on the phone. I didn't see an option. At least they don't make it very visible. But this is something that now you're able to say, all right, these are the things that are on my list. And I've only put a few things in here just to kind of showcase what it is and how it works. And the other thing is obviously categorization of originals, movies, and series. Like I said, I think on mobile they kind of make it a bit hard to kind of categorize things a bit. I mean, they have them categorized, but you can't really select them. Like if I hit movies, now I'm getting all the movies. I have these options, A to Z, action, adventure, animation, comedy, all these different things. And so I think that really just makes it a little easier to kind of surf through things, when you're trying to find a movie for date night or whether you're just trying to find a movie for the family. These extra options I think are very important, and they also kind of allow you to showcase and take a look at more of what there is to offer, because there is so much to offer but not a lot of ways to find it. Those are basically the biggest differences. Obviously you have the same settings, and I really think that this application is going to be best served on television, but I think if they can do a few changes on the mobile one, I think the mobile one is something that can really be something nice. Overall, pretty interesting, and I can't wait for them to integrate more of the Fox properties. I really feel that there is going to be, there's these cool animations. Look at that. That's so fun. I don't know, I get a kick out of little things like that. It's the little details like that I think, that make the TV platform a lot better. I mean, come on, look at that.
anyways, this is how it looks on Apple TV. Obviously, it's a lot bigger, similar setup, but a few extra options that I think are pretty key. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the Disney Plus app on mobile and the Disney Plus app on a smart TV or Apple TV.
Alright, so there you have it. That is Disney Plus and the new streaming service that now offers all of Disney's brands. So I really am curious to see where they're going to take it. I can't wait for some of the Marvel shows to come out, some of the other films that they have planned specifically for the service, and I think this is just going to bring a new wave of Disney films and shows that aren't necessarily always going to be on television or in the theater. So please, guys, if you already have Disney Plus, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you weren't sure about having Disney Plus, I hope this kind of, help you make that decision, whether it's something you think you want to go with or something you don't. I mean, obviously I didn't talk about any pricing, but that's something for you guys to figure out. They have different bundles and everything. But this is going to be what the new competitive landscape looks like in the streaming world. So I hope that was insightful. I hope that kind of helped clear up some questions for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've given you guys the real breakdown on Disney Plus, and I will see you guys in the next one.